Hey guys, welcome to the Joltly website. Wanted to take a second to introduce myself. I'm Harrison. I am the founder and CEO of Joltly, and then Tyler is my co-founder. He's the CTO. Wanted to walk through what our product does. At a high level, our product is rocket money for oil and gas. And so we help you take control of your revenue and your bills and your expenses and just provide it all to you in an easy way for you to see all of your data. But I think more importantly with that, I wanted to share a little bit of our story, how we got started. So I grew up in the oil and gas industry. My dad was a landman for Mobil, and he did that for about 10 years down in Houston. And then he started his own exploration company in the mid 90s. When he did that, I ended up growing up in the industry, always hearing about the next deal, always hearing about him going down to NAPE in Houston. And I just always grew up next to it. I never had an interest in being in the oil and gas industry. However, my father actually passed in 2019, and that meant that I came in to help run the company he left. And through that process, I had just finished up undergrad at BYU, and I needed a better tool to help me process the invoices. That was one of the biggest pain points I had. And then I also needed more transparency. We had hired a bookkeeper at the time, and I just felt so in the dark for what was going on in the day-to-day of our operations. I knew we'd get calls from people in the field, from our pumper, or from workovers done on wells, and I just had no idea like how to manage everything that was going on. And so I started, my first thing that I needed to do was to pay invoices. I started looking at different tools, and I looked at some of the tools that exist in the market, and just for our size, nothing made sense. It was either too expensive or too old. And while I was at BYU, I was studying tech, and I knew there's been several successful software companies that really focused on invoice automation, but nothing that worked with oil and gas accounting. And so from that point, I was like, okay, like how can I make this work? And so so that's like high level, how we got started. I'm going to do a quick dive real quick, just kind of give you a 5,000 foot overview of how our product works. And then if you have questions, you can touch the chat with sales button that is in the top right and then scattered throughout the website. That will be a link to my Calendly, so we can jump on a call and walk through and see how this product's a good fit for you. But what I want to do right now is kind of show you how, if you're an operator, just kind of how this will work for you. And so how the product works on the invoicing side is you'll forward in your invoices here, and then you'll have an email forwarding address. They'll come in here, and then you will be able to have your invoices. The AI will read them and code them out. And what I actually thought would be better, I'm going to show you how I still operate and so I want to show you how I use this. So these are real invoices that I've received from our vendors. I forwarded them in through email, and then they'll go through an approval workflow. And so from start to finish, you have the invoice generally goes to your email inbox. You forward it into Joltly, and then from Joltly, it comes in here. The AI will code it and read it, and then it will go through an approval process. And then if you're choosing to make payments with us, we'll schedule both check and ACH payments directly from the platform, and then it will kick right into your system. So I come in, I just clicked on this invoice. We have this invoice from this vendor here. The AI, it read all this data, and then it has all of the coding for this invoice, and it comes through, and you'll go through, you'll make sure, you'll see if it did it correctly. You'll see if it coded it to the right wells. You always want to double check and make sure the AI does it correctly. We say we automate 80% of the workflow. We let people make sure the last 80% is correct. And then you choose how you're going to pay them. In this case, here's a WorldPay, and then here is how the check address that we're going to send it to. Now, if you want to pay off platform, you can. You don't have to pay with us. That is totally optional. And then it will go through, and then you'll have your approvers here, and then you'll be able to see where everything is in the life cycle and what's been paid. Now, I want to go back. We just launched our revenue product, which we're really excited about. And on the revenue side, what that looks like is same thing, you receive your revenue statements in your email, you forward them in, whoever is on your accounting team, who's ever in charge of the revenue. Instead of having to hand key it in, we work with large language model to send that information to them. We give it back to you, and then we give it to you in a format that you can import into your accounting system. So this first example is a well from Plains Marketing. So here's the statement. You can go through, you can see it coded it and mapped it to these wells. You have your interest, you have your owner net, and then you have your price here. And so you can kind of go through and see, okay. And it's going to highlight the parts of the PDF that are pertinent as well, which is pretty cool. So you'll be able to go in, and it works with any statement you need. When we onboard you, what we do is we look at our list of compatible statements. If we don't have one, we'll build a custom model for you. So we'll make sure that works. like I said, if you have any questions, there's chat with sales buttons below, chat with sales buttons all over the website. Jump on there. Or if you have questions about pricing, we're fully transparent. You'll know what you pay. That is there on the pricing page of the website. So any questions, feel free to reach out, and looking forward to chatting.